Okay, so when you think about marketing a retreat, what's the first thing that pops into your head? Probably social media ads, right? Email funnels, all that digital stuff. But what if the most powerful tool you have isn't digital at all? Today, we're going to dive into the really misunderstood power of actual physical presence.
And it's so true, isn't it? I mean, pretty much the entire conversation these days seems to happen behind a screen. We're always talking about optimizing this, getting more clicks on that, boosting conversions. It's all happening in this digital world. That's just the reality we're all swimming in.
Look, we've got this incredible digital toolkit, for sure. Things like Facebook ads, YouTube, those super complex sales funnels and perfectly written email sequences. And don't get me wrong, these things are absolutely essential. But they have a blind spot. A big one. They really struggle to capture the essence of what is, at its core, a deeply human experience.
And really, that's the fundamental question we've got to ask ourselves. A retreat, it's an escape from the screen. It's all about connection, reflection, actually being present. So why on earth would we limit our marketing to the very thing people are trying to get away from? It's kind of funny when you think about it.
So this brings us right to the heart of what we're talking about today: trust. You see, for an experience as personal and vulnerable as a retreat, trust isn't just some nice-to-have bonus. No way. It's the actual currency you're trading in. And that, right there, is where purely digital marketing can really miss the mark.
Think about it. Booking a retreat isn't like buying a new pair of headphones on Amazon, right? It's not an impulse buy. It is a big emotional commitment. It requires something called psychological safety, that really deep feeling of security you need to feel to lean in and actually say yes to what could be a life-changing experience. Okay, now here's where it gets really interesting. Look at how this frames the roles of online and offline. Online marketing, it's amazing. It's fantastic for building awareness, for reaching a massive audience. But offline marketing, its superpower is something totally different. It's all about building trust and creating a real, tangible sense of presence. They're not competing, they're solving two completely different problems.
And this idea right here, it just nails it. Offline compresses trust, online compounds it. I mean, think about it. One single, real-life conversation can build more trust in 5 minutes than 5 weeks of emails ever could. So offline just shrinks that whole trust-building timeline way down. Then online marketing comes in and takes that initial trust and nurtures it, it compounds it over the long haul.
All right, so let's get practical. How does this stuff actually work in the real world? We're going to break down the psychology behind these offline channels. Because, it's not really about the channel itself. It's about what that channel triggers inside a person's mind.
Just take a look at this breakdown. A little mention in a trusted local newspaper? That's not just an ad. You're literally borrowing authority from that paper. A simple pamphlet someone sees a few times at their favorite coffee shop? Well, that creates familiarity, and that lowers their guard. Networking? Well, that lets people feel your energy in person, and that forms trust in real time. And a billboard? That just screams legitimacy. It says, hey, we're here, we're serious, and we're not going anywhere.
This right here is such a crucial mindset shift. We have to stop thinking about offline marketing as a tool for selling. That's not its job. Its real job is to just chip away at doubt, one piece at a time, so that when the time comes, saying yes feels safe and easy.
And that leads us to probably the single most important rule in this entire philosophy. Clarity first, channel second. Before you even think about any channel, online or offline, you absolutely have to start right here.
Because, well, that leads to the obvious question, doesn't it? What happens if your message isn't clear? What happens if you skip that foundational work? What happens when you try to build a house on a shaky foundation?
Well, the answer is pretty simple. You just end up creating a lot of expensive noise. See, offline marketing is basically a giant amplifier. It takes whatever you give it and makes it louder. So if you feed it a clear, powerful message, it amplifies that clarity. But if you feed it confusion about who you are and what you do, it just makes that confusion even louder.
So, let's be super clear. This is not a battle of online versus offline. That's the wrong way to think about it. The real magic, the secret sauce, happens when you stop seeing them as two separate things and start designing one single, seamless journey for your potential guests.
Let me walk you through a perfect example. Imagine this. Someone hears about you at a local wellness event. That's the offline spark. They're intrigued, so what do? They pull out their phone and look you up on Instagram. A few days go by, they see you've written an article about burnout, something they're really struggling with. They read it. Finally, now that they feel that connection, that trust,
Now they land on your retreat page, totally ready to learn more. You see how beautifully that flows? It's one continuous experience.
And that's exactly why this idea is so powerful. Funnels are not pages. They are structured conversations. A marketing funnel isn't just a bunch of web pages you click through. It's a conversation, and that conversation can start literally anywhere, at a coffee shop, in a magazine, on Instagram, but the key is it has to feel like one continuous story.
So to kind of wrap up their roles here, think of offline as your opening act. Its job is to create that initial spark of familiarity and just fast-track the trust building. Then online takes the baton. It comes in to confirm everything they felt, to build on it, and to nurture that long-term relationship through great content and communication.
So as we start to bring this all together, I want to be really clear about something. We haven't just been talking about posters or newspaper ads this whole time. We've been talking about one thing and one thing only: presence.
At the end of the day, this is really all about a shift in perspective. Offline marketing is not some outdated, old-fashioned idea. It's an incredibly powerful tool for building real, genuine human connection in a world that is absolutely starving for it.
And this final thought, man, it just says it all. All great marketing, I mean all of it, starts with clear thinking. It starts with knowing who you are, who you serve, and the transformation you're promising. Offline marketing, it just takes that clear thinking and gives it a physical body in the real world.
So I'll leave you with this one question to really think about. Take a hard look at your own marketing. Are you just visible? Are you just being seen online? Or are you truly present? Are you being felt out in the world? Because believe me, there is a universe of difference between the two.